Hey everybody, I'm Go Veer Go Home. I want to welcome you back to another layout update. Well, it's that time. I've got bench work done and I've got a lot of my sub row bed down. So I think it's time to add some cork. I did manage to pick some up today, and as you can see, I've got a whole bunch down. Now it was about 10 pieces that I got, and you get a left and a right. And it goes all the way down and around, under, right through there, all the way to there. I still have 1.5 slices left, but that's where I'm gonna stop for now. You can even see here, if I look from overhead, I just sat this on top, but I've got two number 7s here. One that will go about right about there, and then it splits into two sidings, well, the main line and then a siding here because we've got an industry, so it's going to go into there, right? Well, I'll probably have another switch right there, something like that, to kind of give us a multiple sides there. And then this curves right around. This is eventually going to curve. If you follow the orange line, because I did make a couple of lines here, but I'm going to go with the orange one, and basically following that around, it's going to go right into the bridge. Now what I did here was I did the inside first, which we're looking at about a 33-inch radius, or about a 32-inch radius. And then, if I can move this a little bit, you'll notice here how it starts really close together, and then by the end here, as the further in on the curve you go, that means that basically down here you're looking at about a 2-inch spacing from center to center. So the track will have a 2-inch center spacing, and then it gets all the way to a 3-inch down there. Now, because it's not like a huge curve, I did decide to go with 3-inch spacing on the curve, just to make sure that we'll be able to get around that without there being any problems. I got some longer cars. That's usually where you see it with the longer cars, so we'll try that out. Should be okay. But yeah, you basically do the inside and then you push the outside out a little bit. That's why when you look at this line here, it's at the front of the cork, as opposed to it being in the middle, because yeah, it eventually pushed it right out. But by the time we get around here, over to here, we should be okay, and then we'll line back up and then we'll go across the bridge, just like that. But I'm super stoked to have cork down, because we all know what that means. Track is next. And obviously I've already started putting some switches in their, what will be their final position. I'll probably glue those down, and then I will start running track from the switch all the way down and around, as far as I can go. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to run a train through even just this loop here. But I'm gonna wait for this glue to dry up here, and then I'm going to super elevate this curve. So it's gonna kind of lean in a little bit. It's gonna bank right around that curve. And then I'll be able to drop the track and get it in place and hold it down and solder it and whatnot. And it'll be good. But I just have to wait for this to dry. All right, we are back, and we're a little over 12 hours ahead now. The glue has dried for the cork, and I've removed all the pins going right around. But as you can see here, we've got Soup Can Alley. By the way, this clip is brought to you by Campbell's. Campbell's, soup. So yeah, I use them as weight. You know, it's cheap, and I had a whole bunch laying around, so yeah, just obviously I always start at a switch. So yeah, that's the one that I had originally placed. Pretty happy with the fact that, you know, I'm going to be actually using switch machines this time around. So I pre-drilled a hole, and that should be good. Then I always take two of the, it's a meter, which is 3 feet. So the 3 foot flex track. So I take two of those and I solder them together. Always solder on a straight. Now, because this is a big curve here, I do it in pieces. So I always do 2, 2, and 2 together. So I soldered 2 together straight, and then I soldered it to the switch, because you always start at a switch. I don't know, it worked for me. So anyways, glued it down, and it's being held. And it brought me around to here. So that's as far as, I mean, that seems longer. No, that seems about right. Sorry, it just didn't seem right. Now, you'll notice that there's like green tape under here. I like to elevate my curves. And this is a trick. If you've seen any of my other videos, I learned how to do this from DG Model Works. He's on YouTube, Derek Glass. Go check him out. He uses tape as opposed to shims. You couldn't use shims, but I've tried doing the shims and I do not like using shims. So what you do is you start, and I started, I don't know if you can tell, sorry because of the lighting. There's black tape there, and the black tape actually starts here. So I went right around with the black tape first, went right around, and I always stick to the outside of the outside half of the rail. So the side, because we're curving this way, so you want to keep the tape to this side. And then about 4 inches in, you start your next layer. This next layer was blue. I know you can't really see it, but oh, there we go, blue. So that's where the first one was, then there, and did the same thing. Now, obviously you want to come up short on the other side as well, because you want to ease into your curve, and then you want to ease out of it. Another 4 inches in, you'll see green tape. Not only did I run out of tape, and I found green tape, but now I'm using green tape. So, exact same thing again. So it gets less and less and less. I usually only do three levels, because it doesn't seem like a lot. I don't even know if you can really tell. What? It's hard with the cans on there, but yeah. So I'm just easing the curve right around, and the cans will help to kind of push it down a little bit, and the glue will hold it in place. So that's how I do my elevated curves. Nothing crazy, you know, and it's very easy to do. Just keep it to the outside and follow it right around. And then basically as I go, like I said, I have 2 3-foot sections that I add at one time, and I just add glue and weight as I go around. And it makes it all the way over to here, which is a little bit longer than what I had hoped, but it's all good. I still have to glue this down, but yeah, I got a good amount of clearance too. I can't wait to add power to this so that I can just, you know, start zooming up and down this thing, testing it out with maybe an F40, or see how much power I need to be able to take up some cars and whatnot. So it'll be fun to try it out. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, so I'm just at the part here where I need to work on my bridge area, the over-under, making sure that before I tack this wood down, everything above it is good, and wherever, if anything needs to be cut off of this before I screw it down and put it in place, everything else has to be done. So I'm kind of working here. I usually start at one end, right? Because the cork goes to about there. So I want to continue the cork to the bridge here. So now this top part is good, except I do have to cut where that green line is and back there to kind of bring it in a little bit for the land. Now you'll see that we're a little short here, right? They only make these so tall, and I didn't cut it down at all. Like that's the full height of it there. I accidentally dropped it and broke the other wing off there, so I gotta put that back on. But this is how we're gonna do this. Now I usually keep my measurements pretty even, right? So if I raise it up a little bit here, you'll see that the height of it going to there, it's about an inch, or sorry, a half inch. So if I slip this foam, underneath just like that, because that's half-inch pink foam. Put that right up to there like that, and we basically we break even there. That's how it is right up against it, which is great. But you got to remember, there's going to be cork coming right up to it, and then it goes. Obviously, the track goes onto the bridge from there. So we have to raise that up a little bit more, and I'll be able to take cork. I'm not going to use this piece here, but just as an example, because we want to measure it out first before we make anything permanent. There we go. Well, it's hard to do this with one hand. Really sorry about that. Okay. It's all part of the hobby, I guess. So yeah, basically that'll go up against there, and then that'll squeeze in there. And well, yeah, really hard to do this with one hand. Okay, don't fight me. Okay, that's fine. So we're a little bit above now, and when we put the cork up to it, when it's doing what it's supposed to do, the cork goes right up to the top part here, which is great because the track will just continue onto the bridge and so on. So I will cut this back. I kind of drew this out a little bit here because it's gonna go down on a sloping kind of thing there. I'll be able to do that after, but I need to raise it up. So that's what I'm gonna do here with this. I'm gonna cut that back, and then we'll just glue everything in place here, and make sure everything fits properly, and we'll lock that in. Okay, so that's basically how it will kind of round off looking there. And then obviously the bridge goes like that, and then it's high enough for train cars to go underneath, which is great. And yeah, I gotta paint that. I gotta fix that wing still. I'm gonna have to glue that down and do a bit more work. It's not super easy doing this stuff, so you kind of have to work at it and perfect it overall. So, but at least I can put my cork right up to there, which is great, and then I can always continue on right across the bridge and work on this section here as well. And lastly, you'll be able to see here, I did run out of cork, but I was able to do the inside loop here, going right up to the bridge pier, or the, sorry, abutment. And I will have to raise this up with the cork still, but I just want to show you. I kind of trim that out like that, right? And I will, add more to that eventually. But I just wanted to slope that down because it's hard to cut it when it's right down on the wood. So while it was off, I just shaved it down a little bit. And then measuring up, because these bridge piers, they're much shorter than that. And you can obviously tell because I had to use a full inch of foam riser there compared to the half inch over there. And then that'll level it out. I will have to put a piece of cork under both of those pieces to continue to keep it level, but I'll just continue on from there.